Hello, everyone, and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. So, I'm back for another Have Your Say video, and this is for RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10, Episode 6. So, today we're going to be recapping the episode, going through the results of the Have Your Say poll, where you at home get to vote on whether you agree with the outcome of this week's episode.
Yes, we know.
And we'll be talking about a little bit of light drama to do with Sasha Colby potentially shading Mistress Isabelle Brooks. And season 17 winner Onya Nurve addresses some backlash. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Also, before we get started, the reason I am wearing this mask is because I had a comment recently, which you may have seen I did post about on my channel, which said, "Can you stop showing your face in the videos? It kills the video for me, especially when just wanting to hear you narrate." Now, obviously, because of this comment, I've decided, yes, I must have to therefore stop showing my face because no one wants to see that.
That is correct.
And as we all know, this is a really serious channel. I like to take things very seriously and really think about what my subscribers or my viewers or my freeloaders say to me. So obviously I am going to take this seriously and not show my face in my videos because I do think that would be a little bit disrespectful to make a joke about someone saying that or, you know, listening to other people's constructive feedback about not showing my face. So I do hope that going forward you will be able to enjoy my videos more without so much of my face in them. But please remember, if you do like seeing my face, please make sure you hit the subscribe button because I would love to get to 150k by the end of the year with this face. Okay, so let's dive into this week's episode. So at the beginning of the episode, the queens come in and do the NVQ point swap thing. And I think the biggest drama was that Tina felt like she was going to get a point from Lydia, but Lydia actually gave it to Kerry instead. And Tina seemed like a little bit annoyed about it. And then later in the episode, we saw that Mistress was obviously, as usual, trying to stir things a bit. And she was saying that Tina had tried to come up with a scheme to stop Nicole and Kerry getting points, whereas in actuality, it was Mistress that said that in Untucked. And it really does seem like Mistress is trying to push every single one of Tina's buttons. And unfortunately, I think Tina is kind of going for it a little bit. But anyway, that was obviously one little bit of the drama that happened in this week's episode. Okay, so let's move on to the main challenge for this week. We find out that it is a Rusical, and it's called Starrbooty The Rebooty, or in an American accent, it'd be Starrbooty The Rebooty.
What was that accent?
I do love a good Rusical, and I actually really like it when the queens either do live vocals or at least record the vocals themselves rather than just lip syncing to a pre-recorded track by a professional singer. So I was very excited for this particular challenge. So now I'm just going to go straight into the actual performances in Starrbooty The Rebooty. It sounds weird in a British accent, doesn't it? Starrbooty The Rebooty, darling. Okay, so the first queen technically to perform is RuPaul herself. We're not going to vote on that or anything, but I always think it's funny to see Mother actually do some choreography. And I feel like she actually did quite a decent amount this time. It wasn't just the usual kind of like, click on this side, click on this side. It was a little bit more than that. So I did personally enjoy that she seemed to be actually having fun and doing something in this particular week's challenge. And obviously it does make sense because of the connection with Starrbooty being a RuPaul thing to start with. Okay, so let's start off with the first group of girls, which were kind of like the good girls. So we're going to go in order in which they appeared. And the first queen was Nicole Paige Brooks as Coffee. Now, I love Nicole so much. She is so naturally charismatic. I do think, as the judges said, she was about 15 steps behind everyone else. And whenever people were turning left, she was going right. She clearly had no idea what she was doing. But I still really appreciated that Nicole was trying. She's very naturally charismatic and she just has that kind of really unbothered, like, I'm just going to do my own thing. So I did really appreciate that. But unfortunately, I don't think it was the strongest performance, especially within this group. So I will say probably it would be a just okay, maybe towards a nay. In terms of the Have Your Say poll, you voted, perhaps unsurprisingly, 45.4% for just okay, 31.9% for nay, so almost the top amount. And then yay only got 22.7%. Okay, so then we had Tina Burner as T. What I really enjoyed about Tina was I could tell that she was really trying her hardest. Like, she knew the choreography, she knew exactly what she wanted to do. I thought she hit every beat. My only slight tiny thing with Tina was I do think because she was just so energetic and so wanting to do a good job, I do think that perhaps she was maybe a step ahead of the others. Now, obviously, you could argue, was she ahead or were the others behind? But I do think it was kind of noticeable that she was going for it so much that it almost became she was just ahead of everyone else. But I do really appreciate that she was trying, and I think she actually deserved more credit than she got. So I would definitely give her a yay. And in the Have Your Say poll, I was kind of surprised about this, but you said 54.6% for yay, which I agree with, but then 39.7% for just okay. And then she got 5.8 for nay. And then finally in this group, we had Kerry Colby as Mimi. I really enjoyed Kerry in this. I think she was definitely playing the character that she kind of is in real life. She was really leaning into kind of being like the ditzy, beautiful one who shows a lot of skin. And that's obviously what Kerry is like anyway. So I think it was a very natural fit. But she definitely seemed the most at ease. The characterization was there. I thought she did a really good performance. If you've watched my Roscoe's this week, you'll have seen that Kerry was the guest and she spilled some really interesting tea that outfit that she was wearing was actually the outfit from her original season's reunion. And what I thought was really cool was Tina Burner stayed up the night before this performance and reworked the outfit to shorten it and hem it and everything. And obviously, I don't think Tina got any credit for that on the show, but I really liked that Kerry gave her flowers for that. So I would just like to point that out because I think that Tina does actually deserve a lot of credit for doing that. But in terms of Kerry, I really enjoyed her performance. I think she maybe was my favorite of the three, so I personally would give her a yay. And it seemed like you agreed because you gave 78.7% for yay, 18.9% for just okay, and then 2.4 for nay. Okay, so now moving on to the kind of bad girls trio. Also, I would just like to start out by saying that I often think that on Drag Race, they give the kind of bad, evil villain characters the best roles. Just in general, in any kind of Rusical or acting challenge, you should always go for the villain because they get the best roles and the best choreography and the best lines and things. So I do also think that was part of it, that some queens did just naturally have better lines and choreography than other queens. But I guess that is just the way the cookie crumbles. And the first queen to perform in this group was Mistress Isabelle Brooks as Foxy. I will agree with the judges that I maybe was expecting a bit more from Mistress. Like, she's obviously really fun, big personality. I really thought she was going to lean into this kind of villain character a bit more. I did actually find that she did get lost a little bit for me. I didn't quite notice what Michelle said about her not extending that much, but I did notice the outfit with the big shoulders. It did kind of distract a little bit, so that's more how I was thinking about it. But yeah, I did think that maybe Mistress was going to go a bit bigger with it. So I would give it a just okay, because I don't think it was bad or by any means, but it wasn't good enough for a yay, in my opinion. And it seems like you agree, because in the Have Your Say poll, you voted 56.5% for just okay, so quite a big majority. Then it was 25.5% for yay, and then 18% for nay. After that, we had Lydia B. Collins as Moxie. I did really enjoy Lydia in this. I thought she played the character really well. She had the cool choreography of walking on the chairs, which was kind of giving me Detox vibes from the Reggie Wrote You. Although I think Detox's looked like it was harder because her chairs were kind of continually moving, whereas Lydia was kind of just walking across 3 chairs. But still, a little bit of choreography goes a long way. Like, if I did that, I can just imagine I would probably fall through the chairs and break an ankle. So I'm very kind of impressed by someone who can walk on 3 chairs. And I thought Lydia did do the character really well. I thought she sold it really well. So I would definitely give her a yay. And it looks like you agreed because you said 79.8% for yay, so a very big majority. 19.4% for just okay, and then only 0.8% for nay. And then finally in this trio, we had Georges as Pam. In my opinion, of all of the performances tonight, I do think Georges's was the best. We know Georges is an amazing performer. She can dance the house down. She also did get given the best choreography, arguably, but maybe that's also because they knew she was actually capable of delivering it. So I really enjoyed Georges's. She definitely captured the attention, the choreography, the characterization, everything was on point. So I definitely would give Georges a yay. And again, very similar result to Lydia's. You agreed. It was 78% for yay, so quite a big majority. Then 19.4% for just okay. And then slightly more nays than Lydia got with 2.6%. I then asked you who gets the slay for the Rusical performances, as in the best performance, and you voted Georges with 29.6%. Then it was very close between Lydia and Kerry with 28.2 and 28.1% respectively. And then Tina got 9, Mistress got 2.9, and Nicole got 2.2. I think I would have to agree that I did really enjoy Georges's performance. Although she got the best choreography, she did actually perform it really well, and that is a talent in itself, regardless of whether you think she got given the choreography or whether she's RuPaul's favorite. She still had to perform it really well, which she did. I will say an honorable shout out though. I did really enjoy Tina's, and I think she deserved a bit more credit than she got. So yeah, I still would have to give though the slay to Georges. Okay, so let's move on to the runway for this week. And the category was Wild Wild West. Okay, so the first queen up was Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia. This look from her was kind of wild, the Wild Wild West, you might say. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's very fun. The whole time I was wondering though, how is that tail staying in place? Where is the tail and like where is it attached to her body? Is it attached to the outfit? I was trying to figure it out, but I'll let you speculate in the comments. In terms of the outfit itself, although it is really fun and I do really love me some Nicole Paige Brooks from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm not sure this was quite at the same level as some of the other outfits, so I think I'd have to give it a just okay, maybe going into a nay, because it was effectively like a swimsuit with a few extra horsey attachments. It seems like you mainly agreed because you said 45.7% for nay, which was the biggest proportion. Or maybe I should say 45.7% for nay, because she's a horse.
Oh, please, not this again.
33.2% for just okay, so a third. And then 21.2% for yay. And then yeehaw! Next up was Tina Burner, y'all. I'm doing the accent because obviously she was doing a kind of cowboy, right? I loved Tina's outfit. This was such an elevated, amazing outfit. And I saw a lot of people online saying this is good for Tina, which I think is actually kind of mean. I don't think Tina's outfits were necessarily that bad before. They were just the same color palette. So I like that she's doing something very different. But this is genuinely a beautiful and well-made, constructed outfit. So I definitely would give Tina a yay. I loved this outfit so much. And I think, of course, you all agreed because you have good taste, like me.
You're a liar.
And you voted 74.8% for yay, 21.8% for just okay, and then 3.5% for nay for some reason. After that, we had Kerry Colby. I loved this outfit as well. It's so clean, so beautiful. In general, I loved the way the outfit moved, like the sparkling of the jewels and just the simplicity of it just looks so cool. And I also got the Beyonce reference as well. So yeah, for me, this was definitely a yay. Interestingly, although yay did get the majority with 54.2%, 36.7% voted just okay, which I was a little bit surprised at because I really liked this. And then 9.1% for nay. Next up, we had Mistress Isabelle Brooks, who is giving Tina Burner on fire like the Hunger Games. I'm not sure about this outfit, unfortunately. Although I think usually Mistress has great outfits and she always has her proportions right, the silhouette's always very good. I'm just not quite sure this outfit worked. I don't think the colours were that great, and I also feel like there was something slightly ill-fitting about it. Yeah, for me, I think I'd have to give this a just okay. I'm not sure it's bad enough for a nay, but it definitely was not my favourite. And it seems like you agreed mostly because you said 42.1% for just okay, 34.7% for nay, which was the second biggest, and then 23.2% for yay. After that, we had Lydia B. Collins. Pew, 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 pew. Because she's a cowboy, right? Bang, bang. Bang, bang. I really enjoyed this outfit from Lydia. I know I say this every time, but I think we do have to remember that she had to get ready for this season in 5 days, and she made, I think, all the outfits herself. So the fact that she managed to make something this elevated and really quirky and cool, I really enjoyed it. I really loved the chaps, I believe they're called. In the UK, chap is slang for a man, so to say she has chaps on her legs kind of sounds funny for me. But I really enjoyed it, and I thought it really nailed the theme, looked really well constructed, was definitely in her kind of wheelhouse and her style. So yeah, I definitely would give this a yay. And interestingly, you must have really liked this outfit the most of everyone because you said 91.7% for yay, which was more than anyone else, 7.2% for just okay, and then 1.2% for nay. And then finally, we had Georges. I was a little bit split on Georges's. I really liked the outfit in terms of the colours were really bright. I really appreciated that she didn't go down the route of everyone else doing kind of cowboy, horse, whatever. She was doing obviously saloon girl, which I thought was very clever because it was stood out from everyone else. In general, I do think it was maybe a teeny bit simple compared to some of the others, although it was a beautiful outfit and it was very well made. Maybe just in terms of the way it was done, and it's another bodysuit, and that's kind of what she's done a lot. I was thinking she might do something a little bit sort of bigger and more extravagant. So for that reason, I would give it a just okay. It's maybe a just okay towards a yay because it's still good, but maybe just not quite as big as I expected. And in terms of the Have Your Say poll, you voted 49.3% for just okay, 37.6% for yay, and then 13.1% for nay. And then moving on to the slay, as in the best runway, and you voted 61.1% for Lydia B. Collins, 20.1% for Tina Burner, 10.8% for Kerry Colby, and then Mistress and Georges tied with 3.1%. I was very conflicted about who should get my slay. I did really enjoy Lydia's, as I said. I do think maybe, though, I really wanted to give it to Tina because it was just such an interesting, cool outfit. Something I don't think we would have expected from Tina in terms of the silhouette and the colour. And it was really well made. So I do think I'm going to give it to Tina because I also think she should have got more props for her performance and the runway. Okay, so we find out that the top two for this week are Lydia B. Collins and Georges. I asked you in the Have Your Say poll, did you agree with the top two? And interestingly, no came out on top with 58.9%, with yes only getting 41.1%. So of that majority of you that voted no, I asked who would you have put in the top instead? And you voted, well, Kerry Colby with 66.3%, then Tina Burner with 26.1%, then Mistress Isabelle Brooks with 3.9%, and then Nicole with 3.7%. Then Lydia and Georges lip sync to the Beyonce song Texas Hold'em. And we find out that Georges is the winner of the lip sync, so therefore the winner of this week's challenge, and she gets the extra point. I asked you in the Have Your Say poll who won the lip sync in your opinion, and you voted 62.9% for Georges and 37.1% for Lydia. Then came one of the most dramatic moments from the episode, I think, which was obviously when they had to give out their points. I really liked that Tina and Nicole were kind of conspiring to get Kerry in the top instead of Mistress. But I did kind of guess that Mistress was not going to give her point to Kerry because that would risk her being in the top. So if I was Mistress, I also would have just voted for someone else just so it would be definite that Kerry would not be able to catch up. But obviously there was the drama that Mistress kind of called Kerry out on stage and called her a fake B word, which caused a lot of controversy online. So I asked you, who would you give your MVQ point to? And you voted 43% for Kerry Colby, 21.9% for Tina Burner, 18.1% for Nicole, 8.5% for Mistress, Lydia got 7.6%, and then Georges got 0.8%. And so once the points get added up, I think it was kind of obvious, but the top three who are going through to the semi-finals are Georges, Lydia, and Mistress. I then asked you, is this the top three you expected? And perhaps unsurprisingly, you said 82% for yes and only 18% for no. And now, hold on to your hat because this is now a bar chart, not a pie chart.
We don't care.
So I asked, who did you want to be the top three? And I thought this was kind of interesting because Lydia got the most amount with 84.6. Mistress then got 51.4. And Georges got 42.7, although it was quite close, and some of the others, like Tina, got 41.9, so it was only a little bit behind. But in general, it looks like you expected the top three to be those three, and you also wanted the top three to be those three. Okay, so let's move on to the comments for this week. And my Patreon Riot said something that I think a lot of people also said in the comments, which was, I guess I'm an awful, terrible person, but I'm living for the drama, this bracket. Mistress and Georges versus everyone, Tina's delusion over Lydia, Kerry not getting her Rusical flowers, and of course, Nicole Page Brooks. The biggest tragedy to me is that Nicole was only given 3 episodes. Now, this is obviously a very, very big debated topic about Mistress and the drama this particular week. We'll get on to that now because there is actually some other comments that I wanted to read out about this. So moving on to the Have Your Say poll comments. The whole thing about Mistress was a huge topic. Now, a lot of people didn't like Mistress particularly, but then there were also a lot of people who defended Mistress. So, for example, just to give a kind of overview of what people had said, someone said, for example, they will all hate Mistress, but child, she gave good TV. Whereas on the other side, some people said, I'm really disappointed with the fandom supporting Mistress's actions and calling it good TV. I found this bracket hard to watch and I'm happy it's over. No tea, just my opinion. I think it comes down to, do you think that Mistress is good TV, and is it okay to be kind of dramatic and a villain if it makes good TV because it is a TV show at the end of the day? I do think some people take this whole thing a little bit seriously. If you don't like someone, like if you don't like the way Mistress acted, I think that's perfectly fine. You just don't have to support a particular queen. Like, don't follow them on social media or just don't watch all their stuff, whatever. But I think some people maybe take it a bit far and then start sending hate to the queens or being mean, and that's obviously unacceptable. I personally, although I disagreed with some of the things Mistress did, she was good TV, and this bracket would have been boring without her, let's be honest. So it obviously comes down to your personal opinion about, should it be a fair competition or is it a reality TV show? And then lots of the other comments were talking about Tina and how she was kind of robbed, which I agree with. So someone said, I think Tina should have been in the top this week. I wish she made it to the semi-finals. She really turned out every challenge this bracket. And then someone else similarly said, I'm disappointed for Tina. She did incredible, and in another group she would have gone forward. I'm frustrated at Michelle for constantly nitpicking at Tina. She was strong and polished. And then another comment that came up quite a few times was people said the ending was predictable when it came to top 3, felt like Ru's favoritism of Georges was what got her wins rather than actually being better in the challenge and the lip sync. And I did notice someone else said that RuPaul got his 2 favorite twinks, which are Lydia and Georges, to lip sync. And I thought that was actually quite funny. I saw a lot of people commenting on that. And I also just want to say thank you so much to all of the lovely comments that you've put in the Have Your Say poll about me and my videos. I'm so glad that you enjoy them. It does take me a very long time to make these videos, so I'm just really glad that you are all actually enjoying them. So thank you for all of the love. Okay, so now we'll be talking about a little bit of tea to do with Sasha Colby potentially shading Mistress Isabelle Brooks. So if you've watched my Roscoe's recap for this week, which I'll link to in the description, you'll see that there was some drama between Mistress and Sasha. The short summary is that after All Stars 10 finished filming, Kerry Colby apparently told her drag mother, which is Sasha, everything that happened with Mistress in terms of Mistress stealing Kerry's points and things like that. Kerry then later revealed in an interview that Sasha blocked Mistress on social media. And at Roscoe's, Kerry also implied that maybe Sasha had had enough of Mistress's games from their original season, because obviously Sasha and Mistress both competed together on season 15. Mistress later addressed this in an interview and said that she and Sasha have each other blocked. But she did say that she has nothing but love for Sasha and respects that she's protecting her drag daughter. And so far, Sasha hadn't really addressed this whole issue with Mistress as far as I'm aware. However, in a recent video, it looks like Sasha may have potentially addressed that she has an issue with Mistress. Sasha appeared on Kelly Mantle's podcast called The Kelly Mantle Show, which I'll link to in the description. During the podcast, they were going through Sasha's season 15 sisters, and Kelly was asking Sasha to give her opinion on each person. However, when they got to Mistress, Sasha said this.
Mistress Isabelle
Pass.
Brooks. Why do you pass? And there you go.
Most of the top comments on the podcast video were about Sasha passing on Mistress and that she sort of shaded Mistress. This clip then did the rounds on social media, and people took this to be confirmation that Sasha really does have an issue with Mistress. I also did go and check, and it's true that neither Mistress nor Sasha are following each other on social media at the moment because they apparently have each other blocked. I did see that a few days ago, before this podcast episode with Sasha came out, Mistress did also post a photo of herself, seemingly as a joke, saying, your favourite drag queen's least favourite drag queen. Which is obviously a reference to Sasha, because her famous expression is that she is your favourite drag queen's favourite drag queen.
The Hawaiian goddess herself, and I am your favorite drag queen's favorite drag queen.
Also, this podcast clip with Sasha was the first time I believe that Sasha has acknowledged this potential feud, so we'll have to wait and see if any more information comes out about this in the future. And finally, we're going to move on to a little bit of other light drama, which is to do with season 17 winner Onya Nurve addresses some backlash. So recently, Onya was at a live panel event for It Gets Better with some of her season 17 co-stars. At one point, Onya made some comments basically saying that if you don't make money or your goal is not to get on Drag Race, you shouldn't do drag. And this is the clip of Onya saying this, and this clip was shared on the official It Gets Better social media.
Here's my thing, children. If it don't make money, sometimes it don't make sense. And you ain't about to be up sitting and twirling for 20 people for $50 7 days a week, because you know what? That ain't gonna make you shit. So if you ain't trying to get on Drag Race and make thousands of dollars like we making, hang it up, Pookie. Because you know what that is? Because you know what that is? That's a hobby, baby. That's a hobby, and you don't need to make money to do a hobby. Because what we do ain't no nothing hobby, okay? This is a job. This is a job. This take work, okay? I do this for the dollars on top of doing it for the love, okay?
This clip then generated quite a bit of backlash against Onya, with people saying that Onya was discrediting people who are not on Drag Race, or drag performers who do drag not just for the money. From what I can see, this clip has also since been taken down from the It Gets Better Instagram account because I can no longer see it, although it may be up somewhere else. However, while the post was still up, I did take some screenshots and I saw that other queens had commented on this post and had criticised what Onya had said. For example, Rock'em Sakura from season 12 commented saying, "If drag is about just money to you, then hang it up, drag is art." Rock also replied to multiple people's comments who were presumably defending Onya, and Rock made it clear why she was criticising what Onya had said. Another queen was Coco Jumbo from Drag Race Down Under Season 1, who also commented on the video saying, "It's wild that drag is the only profession where a new starter can be paid the same as a legend who's been in the game for 20 years. Then, Hannah Conda from Drag Race Down Under Season 2 and UK vs. the World 2 also commented saying, "I actually think this is a little tone deaf. I understand the sentiment, but I don't think this is the way to put it. Also, it might be like that in America. However, I was the most broke I have ever been after 2 drag races." Shortly after all of this backlash came out, Onya addressed her comments and posted a statement on her social media account where she said, "I want to clear up something that was taken out of context. I fully support local drag. Getting on Drag Race was the biggest honor of my life and career goal that I wanted to accomplish, and I want all the queens, local or global, to strive for excellence. Growth is a part of the journey, and Drag Race is one path among many. I came up in those same clubs, on those same stages. I know the hustle, the hours spent building a look, the time, the money, the resilience it takes to do this art. Local drag is the lifeblood of our community. It's where our culture is born and kept alive night after night. My intention was never to hurt, but to uplift. I will always honor the stages that built me, the queens who inspired me, and the community that made me who I am." And although a lot of people supported Onya in the comments and appreciated her for making this statement, a lot of people commented saying that they think Onya used ChatGPT to write that statement and criticized Onya for not taking accountability. However, it looks like Onya has not addressed this subject since then, so it looks like that is probably the end of the situation for the time being. And as I always say, my videos are just for entertainment and informative purposes, so please do not send hate to any of the queens and just consume this type of content passively. So there you go, there was the Have Your Say for RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10 Episode 6. Let me know what you thought in the comments about this particular bracket, and what are you most excited for in the next bracket? Also, just a quick bit of news that I have released 2 exciting new Patreon tiers with some really exciting new benefits, such as a personalized cameo style thank you video and also a mug from my merch collection. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, please go and check that out. I also have other options as well, so please go and check that out because it is such an amazing way to support my channel and I really, really appreciate it. I'd also like to say thank you so much to my existing Patreon members. You are all absolutely incredible. Your love and support honestly keeps me going and it is the lifeblood of this channel. So thank you so much for all of your love and support. Please make sure you like and comment on this video because it really does boost the video and helps other people find it in the algorithm. And of course, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'd love to get to 150k by the end of the year, but I can only do that with your help. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.